Are you ready for some smart, plain talk on politics, Israel, and the law? It's the Andrew Parker Show. Let's roll. Welcome to another episode of the Andrew Parker Show. Thank you so much for joining us. We talk politics, Israel, and the law. I've been doing it for, almost 9 years. Actually over 9 years now. And it's a pleasure. Join us. Go to theandrewparkershow.com, theandrewparkershow.com, and subscribe, follow us, like us, give us your email. We'll be in touch. Today I want to talk about the tent, the big tent theory. You know, the Democratic Party stood for something at one time, and the Republican Party stood for something at one time. You knew the difference, and, you know, there was a time where they came very close together, and people were having a hard time telling them apart. In some respects, it was during the Clinton years. Now, there was a lot of division in the country, and people would still fight. And if you had an R or a D by your name, you would be labeled, certainly. But the disagreements and the differences, at least on a policy level, were not enormous. Well, they have become enormous now as each party tries to make their tent bigger and accepts and allows some of the most virulent hate to be a part of their platform. Some of the most immoral of policies to become a part of their platform. Now, both sides claim that the other side is doing that. And there is some validity to that claim. But when you start allowing Nazis into your party, when you start allowing those who claim that they would choose Hamas any and every day of the week over the state of Israel, and the hatred toward Jews and the hatred toward the state of Israel exhibited by many in the Democratic Party, it's all in the name of a big tent. Well, we'll have disagreements within our party, but, you know, all views are legitimate. Well, they're not. Nazi views are not legitimate. Hamas engaged in Nazi-like actions and conduct, horrific, horrendous atrocities, and the mourning is still going on in the state of Israel, as Israel just this week, when I am recording this show, mourned the death of the fallen in the name of protecting the only Jewish state in the world, of the fallen soldiers from the War of Independence in 1948 to the present and all the wars in between. In addition, anyone killed also honored in the memory of their life by a terrorist attack or a terrorist organization is mourned on Yom HaZikaron, which is the holiday which it's such a sad holiday. It's amazing. Parents often, far too often, shown reading the final letter that their son or daughter wrote to them before they went into battle. Many of them dying, others not, but on Yom HaZikaron, the letters are read. And the sorrow, but pride, which these parents read their kids' letters is amazing. And it is at the core, at the foundation, grounded in peace and love, which is what the entire state of Israel is grounded in. Oh, that's not possible. Yeah, what are you talking about? They've launched war and they're dropping bombs and they're defending their people. They're defending the Jews. The Jews have one homeland. There were 18 million Jews before World War II. 6 million were killed. A full third of all the Jews in Europe and around the world were murdered. Mass murder. Genocidal murder, systematic murder. Entire industries established and manufactured murder and death and destruction. Never again. Jews are not going to allow it again. The rest of the world stands against them out of fear and hate, out of ignorance, out of social media attacks. So be it. What occurs on Yom HaZikaron in Israel is amazing. The entire country stops for a full minute in the middle of the day. Stops to honor the memory of the fallen. The pride that people have, the patriotism that they have, the caring for their fellow neighbor that they have is second to none anywhere in the world. They stop for a full minute, no activity, cars stopped on the road, wherever they are, all at the same time, the entire country halts. No sound, no noise. And then the next day is Yom HaAtzmaut, which is Independence Day in the state of Israel. A celebration. Not sorrow and sadness, but a celebration. And celebrating the reestablishment of the state of Israel, the indigenous people, the Jews, to the land. And it is a beautiful holiday. Well, Democrats in this country have included in their tent those that want to destroy Israel, those that want to destroy the Jewish people, not allow the Jewish people to have even a single country where they can feel safe. Because I assure you, they don't feel safe in Europe. They don't feel safe on Bondi Beach, in Australia. They don't feel safe in Canada. And frankly, they don't feel safe in the United States. It's not like it used to be. Is it as bad as Europe yet? No. But it could turn. It's already started. And it's dangerous. No, that's the importance. That underscores the importance of the state of Israel. And it is a shame. In fact, it's a disgrace. It is shameful that the Democratic Party have shown such anti-Semitism. Blatant. You know, when David Duke ran for office in the Republican Party, they ran him out. When Steve King down in Iowa, a member of Congress, made statements deemed to be racist, the Republican Party ran him out. The Republican Party on the main does not allow its banner to be used in the name of death, destruction, hate, immorality. People might say, well, yes, they do. They wrapped their banner around Donald Trump and elected him, and he's the worst of the worst. Well, factually, that can't be supported. You may disagree with him, and he may be crass in the manner in which he delivers, but to call him a racist is simply an attack without foundation.
A record of success second to none. Parker Daniels Keyboard Law Firm, the numbers tell the story. The last 5 cases our lawyers have brought to trial have resulted in million and multi-million-dollar verdicts for our plaintiff clients and 0 defense verdicts for our defense clients. Put simply, we try cases and we win cases. Hi, I'm Andrew Parker. At Parker Daniels Keyboard, we take our work personally and we go the extra mile. That is why some of the biggest law firms, locally and nationally, send cases to us to handle when they can't. If you have a challenging and critically important business or personal legal dispute that must be favorably resolved, whether regarding a contract matter, a business divorce, a real estate dispute, an employment dispute, a civil rights or defamation matter, plain talk, if it's a big deal, contact us at Parker Daniels Keyboard. Wise counsel, winning results. Go to parkerdk.com.
The Democratic Party's tent began to get tainted with Barack Obama as he created division. He called openly for allowance of ideas as Democrats different from anything that existed before, all the way back to Kennedy and since, certainly Clinton. No, but he reveled in it, into bringing this tent to wrap the banner of the Democratic Party around those who are anti-Semites. And Keith Ellison, no better. Here in Minnesota, as what Keith Ellison, in the 10 years that he was in Congress representing the 5th Congressional District that Ilhan Omar now represents, and that Keith Ellison anointed as his successor when he ran for Attorney General. This is someone who is anti-Semitic. Talked about it on the show. It's been cataloged nationally. But Ellison wrapped the Democratic banner around her. And Klobuchar and Tina Smith supported that and continued to support her. And people like her. They support Hassan Piker, who makes the statement that he would choose and support and defend Hamas, the heinous Nazi-like killers, murderers. any day of the week before he would the state of Israel, the peaceful yet secure Jewish state of Israel. So, is the tent too big? Well, I think no question that the Democratic Party has lost its way by allowing such disdain and hate within the party. Now, there are many other examples beyond Israel in which they have done this, but I use Israel as the first. Alan Dershowitz pointed this out this week in an article in the Wall Street Journal. We're going to try to have Alan on the podcast soon, talking about, and the title of the article, Why I'm Becoming a Republican. And you may or may not know, because more recently Dershowitz has shifted. He'll claim he hasn't shifted at all, and maybe not, but he has allowed himself to be open to the idea of supporting a Republican. He never had done that before. He first registered as a Democrat in 1959, 67, 68 years ago. He's been a Democrat ever since. He claims that you can count the number of Republicans that he has supported or voted for on one hand in all of those years. He is a lifelong Democrat. He's on the blue team, and he's very public about it. Well, not anymore. The tent will have to batten down the hatches, as they say. The tent has exploded around him, and he can no longer support it, as the Democratic Party has now become, and not just the young ideologues, but throughout, in all age groups and walks of life, the Democratic Party has become openly, I would argue, openly anti-Semitic, openly anti-Israel. Heck, they just had a recent vote. I think all but 7 United States Senate Democrats, there are 47 Senate Democrats? 40 of them voted for an arms embargo against the state of Israel, against the Jewish state. An arms embargo. Why? Because they're defending themselves? Why? Because they had the most horrific day in the history of the country on October 7th, and they're defending themselves? Why? Because they're not going to allow Iran to blow them off the face of the earth, which Iran has said that is what they intend to do? No, Israel is going to defend itself regardless of the Democratic Party, but the Democratic Party has become an avowed enemy of Israel. When it, during wartime, votes for an arms embargo, as if that's going to bring about peace. That doesn't bring about peace. It brings about a war, and a war, an inevitable war. So the tent's gotten too big to bring in anti-Semites, to bring in haters for Alan Dershowitz, and so he is leaving the blue team for the red team. And again, if we have the chance, we'll try to get Alan on the show. If you have thoughts about whether the big tent theory is the right way to go for the parties, even if somebody's anti-American or calls out support for actions that go directly counter to our founding fathers' principles, should that still be a part of one of our two major parties? If you have thoughts on it, text us. Let us know what you think. 952-522-2818. That's 952-522-2818. And go to the andrewparkershow.com. Thank you for joining us. And until next time, be kind to your neighbor. For more Smart Plain Talk, go to theandrewparkershow.com. Learn about all of your listening and viewing options. And remember, all the great things are simple, and many can be expressed in a single word: freedom, justice, honor, duty, mercy, hope. This episode of The Andrew Parker Show is sponsored by Parker Daniels Keyboard.
Did your employer make you sign a promissory note when joining the company, and now you want to leave, but you're afraid your firm will pursue you personally for that debt? This is Jesse Keyboard from the law firm Parker Daniels Keyboard. I recently represented a client who had signed such a note, and I was able to get them out of their $500,000 debt to their company, which allowed them the freedom to exit a bad employment situation and enter a much better one. Meeting our clients' objectives is our focus at Parker Daniels Keyboard, and in this regard, we win. Our experienced trial team of lawyers at Parker Daniels Keyboard have secured major victories in state and federal courts across the country and through arbitration. We have the legal expertise in all types of business disputes, labor and employment matters, real estate matters, shareholder disputes, financial transactions, security issues, and appeals. For wise counsel, winning results, contact us at Parker Daniels Keyboard, a premier litigation law firm that provides efficient, aggressive, and innovative solutions to complex legal problems. Wise counsel, winning results. Go to parkerdk.com.